Serve us some beer, you beer wenches. It's October. It's time for Oktoberfest. All right, it's Tuesday. I got my Spam Musubi on the way. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm here with Brooks Agnew, Steve Doran, and Blake Wally. It must be time for Toxically Masculine Tuesday on Real News Live. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here. We're going to talk about the news. We'll give people a little bit of time to get in since we have such huge audiences for this Tuesday night show. But we'll give the people some time to get in here, talk about what we're doing. I am a puss. I am drinking water tonight, even though some people claim I'm an alcoholic and I'm drinking vodka. No, it's water, really.
That'd be awesome if that was vodka, like John McAfee.
Oh, you'd be the man.
That's
you'd be the man if you could do that.
That's vodka. I'm one tough guy. All right. All right. I'm your host, Mike Barrett, Las Vegas, Nevada. Joined tonight, as I always am, by, for starters, the man to my immediate right, stage left, Dr. Brooks Agnew, the man with whom you cannot spend 4 hours in a car and not come away smarter. Somewhere in the Carolinas. Brooks, how you doing? What's going on?
Fantastic. It's been Carolina blue skies all week long, and we're getting a lot of work done, and I'm drinking coffee.
Coffee. All right. Yeah, the house. How's the house coming? Brooks is so masculine, he builds his own house.
Yeah.
It's coming along. We're getting the dormers done right now and getting ready to plywood them tomorrow, and I'm turning the roofers loose next week.
Awesome. And below Brooks, kitty corner for me, of course, is the inimitable, the guy, that picture of Doran in the intro video just cracks me up. What was that? Was that in this century, Steve? That picture must have been taken in the previous century.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
On a cattle drive. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And I pulled some pictures of you from several years ago. I can start pulling those up if you'd like.
Threats will get you nowhere. I am not afraid of you because mostly you're like 16 states away. And of course, the fourth member of the team, TV's Blake Wally. Blake, how you doing tonight? What are you drinking? I see that you got your Timberwolves background up there. Is the NBA season starting soon or what?
Yeah, tonight is the first game. First two games. It's the Celtics and the Knicks, followed by the Timberwolves and the Lakers. So pretty excited for that. So be celebrating, watching the game as soon as this show is over. And tonight I'll be drinking a little Bullet whiskey, bourbon.
Blake, you've been drinking the Bullet. You've been drinking the Bullet for like 6 weeks. You got to get rid of it.
I know. I only drink on the show.
Yeah, you don't drink it fast enough, Blake. You're not an alcoholic. It's a prerequisite. You got to be an alcoholic to be on the show.
Maybe that's why his hair is always so nice, because he only drinks once a week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's it. But look at the gray beard there. You see, of course, my beard has no gray in it whatsoever, hardly any. Obviously, I'm living better than you, TV's Blake Wally, because yours is gray.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, getting there. All right, guys. Donald John Trump is holding a rally as we speak in North Carolina. And Brooks, we're going to talk about North Carolina here in a minute, but let's join the rally in progress because there's a pretty important announcement tonight, which is that Tulsi Gabbard has told everyone she is now no longer a Democrat. She is joining the Republican Party because MAGA.
Our voice is heard loud and clear, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the last 3 presidential elections, nominating this man to be the Republican nominee for president because of his commitment to these fundamental American principles of freedom and peace and prosperity. USA. Now, to those of you here or those watching at home who are independent-minded people like myself, who love our country and are committed to the Constitution and to freedom, the Democrat Party has no home for people like us. But we do have a home in the Republican Party where we are welcomed with open arms by President Trump and so many of you who love our country. And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party. I'm joining the party of the people, the party of equality, the party that was founded to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense and the party that is led by a president who has the courage and strength to fight for peace.
All right, that is Tulsi Gabbard. I get hotter for her every time I see her talk. Brooks, she's in North Carolina. You're in North Carolina. Let's hear what you have to say about this. I mean, this is a week of fairly seismic shocks for the Come Swallow Horse campaign. We'll talk about that in a minute. But tell us what this means in a political context, and tell us then, give us an update what's going on in North Carolina.
Yeah, Trump's been here for a couple days. He had a rally in Concord on Monday, and he's in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is about 90 miles away from here, Fort Raleigh. And this state is so important. I have the Carolina Journal with me tonight, and you'll notice it says "Road to White House travels through North Carolina." But look at the ratio. 45.3% to 45.6%. It isn't that way anymore. It isn't that way anymore. We believe because of the early voting, it's so strong that several congressmen have come out and said, if it stays like this, there's no way Kamala Harris can win. Trump is going to win North Carolina by a wide margin.
Okay, give us an update then on what's going on actually in North Carolina right now in terms of recovery from the hurricane.
Okay, there's a escalating battle between the hillbilly backhoe drivers, which are not small machines. These are big machines. They're rebuilding the road now to an area what's known as Bat Cave. Bat Cave is still cut off, but the road they're building is absolutely world class. It's about 90 feet wide, super flat. I mean, it's professional. These guys are professional equipment operators. So FEMA and their little blue van came racing in today to try to stop them, to try to stop the equipment. And they actually threw them out and then put cones across the road to keep them from coming back in. So this is going on, and honestly, the people are talking about civil war. I mean, they're using those words, civil war. If FEMA continues to build these camps, these armed camps that they're building with these, quote, tornado shelters that they're bringing in and setting down, they're not tornado shelters. They're not anchored to the ground. These are RPG Quonset huts. They're designed to take a direct hit from an RPG. These are set up. They say tornado shelter on the outside, but they're not. We used to see these at the battlefield all the time, where they had to keep troops and give them some place to sleep that was safe from these snipers that would come in with RPGs, and it would go right through a plywood wall, but it won't go through these things. Well, they're bringing them into these FEMA camps. And the other thing they're bringing in are tanker trucks. Now, these tanker trucks don't have diesel fuel. They don't have gas. They don't have water. These have fracking chemicals. Why would they bring fracking chemicals? Because they're setting up to mine. They're setting these camps up to run a mining operation. And the people are saying, hell no.
So 2 weeks after a horrific hurricane, with people having lost their homes, still not getting any help or any insurance payments from the government, and getting $750, which they have to pay back, or your property is seized. They're coming in with basically bulletproof, sending out bulletproof camps. RPG, by the way, is rocket propelled grenade, and getting ready to seize the land and take all the mineral resources.
And the governor, our crooked Roy Cooper governor, who's a Democrat, said yesterday, take the money and leave. Don't rebuild your properties.
Okay, I'm just going to say fuck this governor and fuck those people, and let's get rid of them all. And you know what I mean when I say let's get rid of them. Steve Doran, what are your thoughts on this? Any thoughts on Tulsi? Let us know. I mean, what do you think should happen to start with to these people that are pulling this land grab by the U.S. government?
Well, first of all, it's as criminal as you can get. Secondly, I want to know why the sheriffs in that area, because there's more, it involves more than one county, are not backing the people. They're not there protecting these guys building the roads. They're not questioning what's coming into their counties and why fracking chemicals are coming in instead of water or fuel or things that are needed by the local population. And lastly, I think that the people of North Carolina should be doing a recall petition to get rid of their crooked governor.
Yep.
Who would even dare suggest that after all of these people have been through, after all of that they have lost, that they take the money and run, and not only take, it's not even good money,
No.
take the pittance that they're offering and run. And as far as our lady who has converted to the Republican Party, it just absolutely gives Trump more juice going down to the finish line. So I'm happy she did it. It kind of spits in the Democratic Party's face and gives Trump more energy moving forward.
By the way, Kamala Harris was too drunk to campaign today. She took the day off.
Yeah, something was going on. She was completely gone today. She sent Obama out as a surrogate in Pennsylvania. Oh, nobody gives a shit about Barack Obama anymore. All right, TV's Blake Wally. Tell me what you think of this development, because now she and Joe Manchin and others are kind of leading the way of this run to the Republican Party. I wish they weren't becoming Republicans. I wish we had an independent party, a MAGA party, an America First party, but we don't. So they have to become Republicans. What do you think this means in terms of political alignment or realignment? And are you as hot for Tulsi Gabbard as I am at this point?
Maybe, she is she's quite the woman. I do have a little crush on her, but yeah, she's not really totally my type. But yeah, she is interesting. Put me on the spot there, Mike. But yes,
I heard
I can relate.
woman is your type.
What's that?
There's something about
every
a hot
woman is
girl
your
that can handle a stick in the air.
Perhaps. I've always been a big fan of hers, and I can relate to her because I've also come from that as a former Democrat until about 2004 or so, and I've seen a lot of those people get away from that party, walk away. I think it's good that we're getting back to sort of those roots. We get RFK as well. There's been a lot of big names that have switched their affiliation, kind of distanced themselves from the modern left, like Elon Musk or Glenn Greenwald, Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand, Tim Pool, Joe Rogan. Like there's a lot of good voices that have crossed those kind of party lines. And so it's refreshing to see that. I wish there would be more people that would come through and distance themselves from the modern left because they've gone off the rails. So it's great to see that Trump, it's a great strategy to bring Tulsi and RFK into the fold. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, another thing happened this week, and we're going to start with some of the less serious stuff and get into the seriousness of the situation. But Donald Trump, Consuelo Horace said that she worked at McDonald's, and her evidence that she worked at McDonald's is the fact that her campaign says so, and one of her friends said she worked there. But McDonald's said, we don't have any record of any Kamswala Horace working for McDonald's. So this week, what Donald Trump did is he went to McDonald's to work for a day, and it was, as you might expect, guys, it was, well, let's just let the hilarity ensue and enjoy it. Here we go.
We gotta hit that timer, bring that one up. I'm gonna take care of these. Okay.
Here he is making French fries. I think we're gonna have a little rookie mistake here on the salt, but we'll see. Watch this.
Have you put that right far right, hang it right up there. Yeah. And then you want to do the salt over here? Yeah. I did these ones already. They're good. You just gotta do that one right there. So grab that.
Can we give them extra salt?
No. Yep.
Ooh, a little too much salt
Right
there.
And then we're gonna grab the fry scoop right here, put it into there, and just give them a twirl.
All right, so he saved it by stirring them up.
Okay, where's the little thing?
Medium. We gotta hit that timer.
Okay, so there was that, and then here he is greeting people at the window.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you over there. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Bye, darling. Have a good time. Thank you. A lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Look at all the fake news over there. Hello, everybody.
You can fake this,
And
right?
you know this is compliments of Trump, okay?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Mr. President,
Yes.
please don't let the United States become Brazil, my native Brazil.
We'll keep it
Please,
good.
Please, please.
We're going to make it better than ever, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Mr.
Compliments
President.
of Trump.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you over there. Have a good time.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see
You
you.
too.
Bye,
Thank
darling.
you.
Have a good time. Thank you. A lot
Okay,
of fun
so there-
here, everybody.
There's that one, and then here's another.
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now versus.
Now I have worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your
I
resume?
never worked here.
Why would she lie about
15 minutes
something
more than
like that?
Kamala.
Well, be put on your resume.
I worked at McDonald's.
Why would she lie about that?
Because she's lying Kamala, that's why.
Because she's lying, Kamala. That's why. Okay, guys, it was a pretty cool troll by Donald Trump, and I think it's good because what this does is shows his sense of humor. It humanizes him. It's pretty hard to look at that guy and say that's Hitler, which is basically the only playbook the Democrats have. Blake, let's start with you. I thought this was absolutely hilarious, and there were a few other things where she said, a guy pulled up and he said, I'm just an ordinary American, and he said, "There's nothing ordinary about you, sir. There's nothing ordinary about any American." And I thought those were really brilliant points, and he absolutely, this is in Pennsylvania, by the way. He absolutely, I think, hit it out of the park, just pointing out what a complete hypocrite she is. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, absolutely right. And yeah, she couldn't prove it. So she said that she allegedly worked there back in the day. They fact checked her, couldn't find it. So yeah, this is hilarious that he's trolling her like that. And it's just a fun moment for everybody. But of course, leftists are always going to melt down over everything, which just made, it just shows you how lost they are. But no, it was all in good fun. A great photo up right in front of the election. I think that's great. He nailed it.
Okay. Steve Doran, what do you think of Donald Trump working at McDonald's? And did you ever work at a McDonald's? I
never ever worked at a fast food restaurant. Ever.
Okay. Never ever.
The closest I got to that was a Mexican restaurant. I washed dishes. But no, I love the fact that President Trump is just a regular guy. I like the fact that he doesn't sit back and let them throw stones, and he does respond. I like the fact that he gets out there amongst the people and shows them that he's not as the Democrats are making him out to be. I mean, he is the most refreshing president we have ever had. Well, the ones that we know anyway. We don't know about the other ones because we weren't alive then and they didn't have video or TV. But I mean, to me, he's the most refreshing president we've ever had. He's the only president in history that has done everything he said he was going to do, kept all of his promises. And even when the Republican Party came after him, he stood his ground. He wasn't intimidated one bit. And, you know, that's who we need leading this country.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
And,
yes.
and I'm hoping when he gets in office that the next big thing is that we get rid of all the Republican rhinos that are in office and ditch them as soon as possible.
Yeah, because they're worse. They're worse than the Democrats. They need to be the first guys up against the wall. Brooks, what do you think of this move by Trump politically? I thought it was hilarious.
Well, I thought it was brilliant, and he absolutely just destroyed the internet. I mean, just shook the foundation of the internet with these videos. Everyone was watching them, and he had cheer in his heart, and he gave all the food away, and the people that were working there loved working with him because the streets were lined with people, thousands and thousands of people outside this McDonald's. It was a brilliant move on President Trump's part. He loves McDonald's. He eats McDonald's all the time. He's a big fan. He's not being a hypocrite. And the only thing the Democrats could say today was he wasn't joining you. He was making fun of you. Well, I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. What I saw was a man taking advantage of the lies that Kamala Harris has told about her working at McDonald's. So he decided to do it on her birthday.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to do it till the next day, but he discovered that day was her birthday. So he did it that day.
And look, I think it went so badly for her that she went on a drinking binge, and that's why we didn't see her for the last
Exactly right. She drank herself to stupor, and she's not campaign today.
Well, you know, it is her
doesn't
birthday.
campaign 2 weeks before the election.
It's not possible. She has to be sick, dying, or drunk on her ass. Steve.
I'm just going to say, you know, she's like a typical over entitled woman. It is her birthday week, birthday month. She's entitled to get drunk on a daily basis.
Yep.
To the point that she can't stand up, even when she's running for president, even when there are crises going on. That's probably not even a word, crisis going on around the world. Instead of her pulling up her bootstraps, bearing down, doing what needs to be done, she gets drunk.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is the only October Libra I am not attracted to at all. So,
And the only reason that she never worked at McDonald's, she may have applied, but they didn't have that position at McDonald's.
Yeah, they didn't have the lay on your back and spread your legs position. Okay,
Right.
thank you. The federal government responded today. Guess how they responded? They're now claiming that McDonald's quarter pounders are responsible for an E. coli outbreak. They're trying to damage McDonald's. Their stock was down 9% or something today. Blake, isn't that just transparently, obviously, a payback by the deep state to McDonald's for allowing Donald Trump to do this? And here's the bigger question. Isn't this going to backfire?
It should. I mean, yeah, you would think if Trump didn't do this photo op, would that have happened? Would they have announced that? Would that affect the stock price? The answer is no, very unlikely. So yeah, it was a terrible week for her in general. She also missed the Al Smith dinner. So Trump got a couple of opportunities to roast her over that. And I heard she was really upset behind the scenes, screaming at her, campaign advisors. I guess I also heard Chucky Schumer was also livid about that. She missed that moment. That was a huge thing for her to do. Whether just to take the roasting. That's kind of one of the things that we look forward to every 4 years is great sound bites out of it, even when Hillary was there. So yeah, she's missing out on these opportunities, and now they're flailing, they're upset, so now they're going to take it out on everybody from Trump, or now it's McDonald's, who has said they're not red or blue, they're gold. They support everybody, and that's just 1 out of 8 people have worked there. So yeah, but of course they never passed the chance to, exactly, retribution towards McDonald's or whoever.
Ron says she's going to work at Five Guys. I think she's
I saw that.
Yeah, Five Guys,
Nice.
Five Guys at once. How do you even run a train on one girl with 5 guys? I don't even know how you do that. I know how. Yeah, okay. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we are. All right. All right. So Laura brings up a good point in here. She says, where does she say it? Yeah, it's a big backfire. Was RFK rolling his eyes at Trump being at Mickey D's since he wants to make America healthy again? Well, I have an answer to that question, believe it or not. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. posted it on his Twitter. And this is a really interesting discussion. I'm sorry I can't really make this any bigger, but I'll read it to you. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just yesterday shows a picture of his dad at a drive-in, eating a burger, eating some fast food, I believe in the 1968 presidential campaign. There's his dad, Robert F. Kennedy Sr. I never thought I'd come to like the Kennedys, but life has a weird way of changing you. He writes, fast food is part of American culture, but that doesn't mean it has to be unhealthy and that we can't make better choices. Did you know? And this is a shot across the bow. Get ready, guys. You may not realize it, but this is. Did you know that McDonald's used to use beef tallow, which is beef fat, to make their fries from 1940 until phasing it out in favor of seed oils in 1990? I did know this. This switch was made because saturated animal fats were thought to be unhealthy, but we have since discovered that seed oils are one of the driving causes of the obesity epidemic. Actually, I think in 1990, 13% of the population was obese. Today, it's something like 45%. Interestingly enough, this began to drastically rise around the same time. Tallow to seed oils in their fryers. People who enjoy a burger with fries on a night out aren't to blame. An American should have every right to eat out at a restaurant without being unknowingly poisoned by heavily subsidized seed oils. It's time to make frying oil tallow again. That guys is, in my opinion, is an absolute shot across the bow of the chemicals that are being put in Americans' foods and the big corporations. And I think it signals that McDonald's is going to be one of the first to go back to that. And by the way, if you've ever had McDonald's original fries cooked in beef tallow, if you haven't had those, you have not lived. Brooks, your thoughts on this one, and do you think this is a real significant? I think this is significant that Trump did this and Kennedy said this the next day.
Well, I think the entire, let's just call it the overarching infringement upon our freedom to eat by the FDA is a serious, serious issue in this country. Look at the Amish. The Amish sell and produce the best produce, food and breads and everything in the world. Totally natural. FDA shuts them down. So 180,000 Amish in the state of Pennsylvania have now, all the adults have now committed to vote. They've all registered to vote, and they're all voting Republican. That is a huge, huge voting block.
Yeah. Steve, that was music to my ears, what Kennedy said. Do you agree with it? You're something of an expert on nutrition because changing your eating habits and looking at the ingredients on labels saved your life. And you don't have to tell that story tonight, but if you want to, we'll sit and wait for it. So go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm not going to tell the whole story tonight because I'm going to be doing a series on what actually occurred, what happened to me personally. I will tell you that nutrition is key to staying healthy. And pretty much everything the government tells you to eat, don't eat it. Do the opposite. I've had conversations with Mike about this. First of all, I don't eat hardly any vegetables whatsoever. I do eat things like potatoes that are fried in beef tallow. I eat lots of fat. I eat lots of red meat. And I drink lots of very clean water. And one of the things that happened was when I got sick, I gained a lot of weight. I was almost 400 pounds. I didn't know what was going on. I then discovered that I had cancer, and my life was basically spiraling down the toilet very rapidly. Immediately, I went and saw a doctor. Long story short, the advice that they gave me was not something that I would do. Still wouldn't do it to this day. And so I changed my diet. I started eating differently, doing different things. Now I'm down to 260 pounds. And that all happened within a period of about 6 months. So, just getting away from the chemicals, getting away from all the green vegetables, getting away from all of the processed foods. Literally, it didn't. I'm not completely cured, but it has healed me, and I lead a much more efficient lifestyle. I guess I'll use that terminology. I don't eat as much, but I eat very well. I eat all I want. I eat whole foods. If it has any chemicals in it at all, I stay away from it. And that's the problem. It's not the food you're consuming. It's all the chemicals they put in it. If I eat something with more than one ingredient, I make it myself, because you look on there and it's like, milk, heavy cream, all these things that you purchase at the store, instead of having one ingredient, two ingredients like they should, like milk should just have milk in it, it'll have 6 other ingredients that you can't even pronounce. And that's what's killing you, not the milk, not the fat, not the, these other things. So all I can do is encourage the American people to contact their elected officials. Hopefully when Trump gets in and he lets Kennedy be his food czar, that, we do the same things that Europe does. You go to Europe and you get McDonald's French fries, it's salt, potatoes, and tallow. Here in this country, you get McDonald's French fries, it's salt, seed oils, and like 6 other chemicals. Why do we need those other chemicals in there? There's no reason for it. Those are the kinds of things that need to be taken out of our food.
And may I say, 265 pounds of succulent man meat, too, for all you ladies out there.
Right.
Steve is not exactly single, but he's not exactly not single, ladies, so you got a shot if you're young enough and hot enough. Blake, you're pretty thoughtful on this kind of stuff. I know you don't really worry about your diet too much. You're thin and in great shape, as is Brooks. I'm the flabbiest guy in the group here, even though I'm of course cut. What do you think about this? Do you think it signals a real change, like Steve's talking about? Are we going to go after the corporations that have been poisoning the American people for the last 50 years?
Yeah, there certainly could be some retaliation for that. Things have changed, and Steve is absolutely right. They started adding all these different chemicals in it. It's also the portion sizes, but yeah, it's definitely the quality. And they've had, the government has been wrong about all kinds of things, like with the food pyramid. They've been wrong, selling margarine over butter, or saying eggs have too much cholesterol. A lot of that stuff turned out not to be true. But yeah, so
about kids' cereals. Holy crap! Talk about
it's all like empty calories.
I literally eat all I want whenever I want, and everything I eat, the government and doctors would tell you is horrible for you.
Yeah.
Yet I've lost all this weight, and I'm in far better condition than I was when I started.
Margarine is basically plastic. Okay, Blake, go ahead and finish your point there.
Oh, all I would say is that, my metabolism, unfortunately, has changed. I'm getting older, so I can't eat like I used to. I used to be able to pile down those double quarter pounders with cheese, supersized fries. I could not gain or lose a pound to save my life. But in the last year or two, I'm actually having to count calories and stuff, because now my weight does fluctuate quite a bit. So I have to be much more mindful. And I used to just be able to just pile down anything I wanted. Now it's okay, I've only got so much room. So things are changing, but that's probably good, because it gets me more disciplined in watching what I eat.
Yeah, here's another thing. They're going to be getting rid of the high fructose corn syrup, and we're going to go back to pure cane sugar for a change. I think that'll be good stuff. Brooks, you have anything you want to add to this particular?
Well, I totally support what Steve is talking about. I took control of my health about 1.5 years ago. I too was, running, 270, pretty close to 270. Now I'm down to 0.1 metric tons. And, I'm pretty much solid muscle. I work with young guys all day long, and they're tired at the end of the day, just like I am. But I'm in great shape. I'm going to be 70 in May, and I don't look 70. I don't act 70, and I still wake up in the morning with an erection. So what
which is all that really actually matters.
That's what I'm talking about. So it is about what you eat. I went on a cruise 3 weeks on a ship, but I ate right, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've gained so much weight. Lost 3 pounds on that boat. 3 pounds.
Because there was no chemicals in what you were eating.
Right on.
And there's no chemicals in your erection either, Brooks. So, ladies, I'm going to give you just a second here to picture Brooks's erection. Okay, good.
We
We're
need
there.
a bigger screen.
All right. We need a bigger screen. Jesus Christ, Brooks, it's 20 inches. All right. Also this week, right after that, there's so many things we got to get to tonight. Donald Trump went to a barbershop in a black neighborhood. This is a popular place. There's this barbershop show on HBO where here, hang on, Brooks. Let me change layout here so we get that out of your get that out your face. Let me get that CBD out of your face. There we go. Went to a barbershop and he was asked a question of, and people are starting to figure this out. Why do we need to pay taxes if they could just print as much money as they want to do anything and give $265 billion of our money to Ukraine? So Trump got a question about taxes, and this answer is really interesting in the context of this I don't know, thing that starts with an N and ends with ARA. Listen to Donald Trump's answer.
My biggest concern is the future and the future generation, my kids' generation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried that attaining the American dream at this point in time and in the near future is going to be unattainable for this upcoming generation, which I have kids that are part of that generation.
How many kids you have?
I have two, a 17 and an 18-year-old.
Good.
Now, I believe one of the biggest hurdles we have when it comes to attaining that American dream is overtaxation.
Yeah.
When it comes to federal taxes, I know we're going to bring back, I'm sure you're going to start back up the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline,
in 2 minutes.
which is going to generate an abundance of revenue. Also with the tariffs that you've spoken of. So my question is, with all this extra revenue we're going to be bringing into the country, so do you believe at some point in time we could find a way, once the country's back on its feet and getting enough revenue and paid off our debt, do you think it's possible to find a way to eliminate federal taxes?
There is a way.
And how do you feel about it?
You know, in the old days, when we were a smart country, in the 1890s and all, this is when the country was relatively the richest it ever was. It had all tariffs. It didn't have an income tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now we have income taxes, and we have people that are dying. They're paying tax, and they don't have the money to pay the tax. No, in the old days, 1890, 1880, we had so much money, they had to set up committees, blue ribbon committees, how to spend our wealth. We had no idea how to spend it with so much money. Then we went to the income tax system, and the rest is sort of history. But no, there is a way. I mean, if what I'm planning comes out, it's a great question, by the way.
Everyone could, everyone could attain the American dream if it wasn't for the high cost, the burden of high taxes, and we're taxed at every step of the way. When we make it, when we spend
regulations.
it.
And regulations. So I cut more regulations in 4 years than any other president by 4 times.
All right. That to me is a relatively stunning answer. Basically, he's agreeing with the guy. We don't need an income tax. The end of the income tax, Steve Doran, is the end of government, the deep state's hold over the American people. We break the back of the bankers with that, do we not?
That is correct. First of all, if we've got money to send to foreign countries, if we got money to give $13,000 a month to illegal aliens, if we've got money to basically send to Afghanistan and leave multi-billions of dollars of equipment there, we are paying way too much in tax. I'm so sick and tired of, having every month, I mean, I make good money. But every month I'm scrambling to make my bills. I have to worry about what I can buy, what I can't buy, because I don't want to go into debt. And with the monies that are going overseas, that are leaving this country, and the monies that the illegals are making tax-free and sending back to their countries is criminal. So we need to cut that flow off and keep that money in this country, letting Americans make money and not have to pay for everybody else's problems.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Laura says you are rugged and attractive, Steve.
Thank you. Whoever you are, Laura.
I want to add something to that.
Okay.
I go to the post office a lot because I ship books and stuff like that. But every single time I go, There's somebody in line that doesn't speak English that's sending a wad of cash home to Mexico, Guatemala, Haiti, wherever. When that money leaves our community, it's gone. It doesn't cycle again. It doesn't go around and around in our community like it's supposed to. They're robbing us. And it's something like $500 million a month that they're mailing out of this country that never comes back. You might as well just burn it in a fire. We never see it again in this country.
Yep. All right, Blake.
Yeah.
There is this thing that we've talked about, you and I have talked about before, that is called NESARA or NESARA. There's also a GESARA or GESARA starting with the G. It stands for National Economic Security and Reformation Act or something along those lines. And there's a Global Economic Security and Reformation Act that is rumored to exist. Part of the NESARA agreements, which apply to the United States, are that there will be no more income tax, there will be no more IRS, and why do you need an IRS if there's no income tax? There will be no taxes on sales tax, which is what this guy was talking about. Trump seemed to agree with all that in his answer. Do you think, first of all, do you agree, and do you think it will lead to prosperity? And secondly, do you think he was hinting at the big N word that we're not supposed to talk about on this show?
Let's hope he's got some kind of a plan in mind. Whether that would be awesome to see, NESARA, GESARA, or just ending the Fed, or perhaps maybe he'll think about making Bitcoin the reserve currency, because clearly the dollar has got a lot of problems, and it's basically screwed since we got off the petrodollar recently, and we're watching commodities skyrocket. For me, I think the federal government should be cut like probably at least 70%, and the Federal Reserve. It's unconstitutional to put a tax on your labor, but they set that precedent. Feds should not be collecting all this money. They're shipping it overseas, or they're using it to withhold federal funding from the states. Like, the states should not be jumping through hoops to comply with whatever weird federal government programs. They should have never had that much power to begin with. So
the Woodrow Wilson betrayed the United States, and he should be pretty much stricken from the record as far as I'm concerned, because he was a banker. And here's the thing to remember too, is that men's clothing, professional men, politicians, did not used to wear what we commonly call the suit. The suit with the blazer and the white shirt and the dark tie was the banker's suit. And it was when Woodrow Wilson came in, placed in the presidents to get America into World War I and implement the income tax, that the banker's suit became the look for all of America's politicians. And the reason behind that is because it's telling you they all work for the banks. And let me be the first to say, fuck the banks and fuck you in the neck. And we're about to take our country back. I don't know about that, but we'll see.
The 16th Amendment that allowed the income tax was passed and ratified because Congress said they were only going to tax the top 1%, and they were only going to tax them a little bit. And with that revenue, they would be able to handle everything the government had to do with relative to the war. Right. So it easily got ratified because the common person said, well, I'm not one of the 1%. They won't tax me. Well, how long did it take before 99% of the people were paying tax?
And damn near 99%. And the only people, by the way, who've ever given you tax relief since 1914 are the Republicans. The Republican Party, not the Democrats. They never have. All right. Trump, after that, went to after the McDonald's thing, went to the Steelers game and was wildly cheered by the crowd. Let's flip over here and watch what.
This is crazy.
Sorry, I'm not getting the full big thing here. He was cheered by the crowd. USA! USA! From inside the box, here's from outside.
States, Donald Trump in attendance tonight, invited guest of one of the suite holders here at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. Jets on top 7-3.
Oh, that was right there. That is the only time that NBC mentioned the presence of President Trump at this event, in which we saw Russell Wilson prove everyone wrong, that he's washed up, that he's not a great quarterback, and that he's not a Hall of Famer. And you go, Russ. So, guys, I just wanted to check in with you about the coverage. That was it. They mentioned it. They showed it. They didn't show the – they didn't, play a soundbite of the chanting. It was huge. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is considered a Democrat bastion. It doesn't look like it to me, because those people are working class people. Well, they're not anymore. I'm not going to the Steelers Raiders game a week ago. If Russ had started, they wanted $259 for the cheapest seat in the house. So they're not really working class, but a lot of working class people do buy single game tickets to go to those. Brooks, go ahead.
By the way, quick note on the Pennsylvania race. Trump is reportedly getting 33% of the black vote and 75% of the vote of the under 25.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing stuff. Steve, does this just really reinforce the bias of the news media against President Trump, the way they low-keyed his appearance and the raucous reception he got? Politicians always get booed at sporting events, every single one. This is the only guy I have ever seen in my adult life who doesn't get booed at sporting events. He gets cheered.
Everybody loves Trump. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. The news media has always been biased. Anything that he does, they try to downplay it, or they try to take one little thing that he says or one little thing that he does, and they report on that and they leave all the rest of it out. They've been doing that since he started running for president the first time, all through his time in office, even while this last 4 years, while Biden's been in office. Anytime they get a chance to go after Trump, they still do it. So anybody who thinks that the news media is telling the truth is an absolute moron and basically needs to resign from the human race.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Blake, what does this say about the bias of the news media again? And what does it say about Trump's popularity in Pennsylvania?
Oh, they know that in the real world, he's extremely popular, and they hate that. So they did everything possible to just barely a blip, because I was watching that whole game, and I didn't get to see a lot of that chanting. It was kind of like, oh, Trump is at the game, and then that was it. So yeah, they go out of their way to take him away. He's a true populist, man of the people, and the establishment can't stand that.
Yeah, so they certainly can. All right. Then, of course, we go back to, I believe it was Friday night, the Al Smith dinner, which is a traditional thing that's done. I believe it's done every year. It's a charity dinner with a lot of celebrities and people from the political class in New York. And in the presidential years, the presidential candidates are expected to go there and perform like a roast. And Trump, of course, famously roasted Hillary Clinton and was much funnier than her in 2016. 2020, it was the same kind of thing. And in 2024, guess who didn't show up? Kamala Harris. Instead, she sent a video where basically she mocked Christians and Catholics, which didn't go over really very well. And on top of that, the next day, she held a rally where somebody said, Jesus loves you and God is in this house. And she said, buddy, you're in the wrong rally. I can't believe how stupid.
Well, actually, he said, Jesus is Lord.
Jesus is Lord.
And she said, you're in the wrong rally. You need to go to the smaller rally down the road.
And then they kicked him out, right? Didn't they escort him out?
Oh, yeah, they rousted them all. They kicked them all out.
I can't believe what a stupid twat she is. She's got a political tin ear. I'm going to go to you first, Blake. Let's listen to a few of Donald Trump's jokes at the Al Smith dinner in New York City. I guarantee you are going to laugh.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a group of illegal aliens. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Does anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president. I used to think that
so that one, I'm gonna have to go look some pictures up, like, but that one is brutal. They're all good, hilarious. That one is brutal, and I'm gonna look for some pictures and show you while after you get done talking. So don't talk too fast. But sure. Chuck Schumer is not on our team. Let's put it that way. Blake, why don't you tell us what you thought of the Al Smith dinner and Donald Trump's presentation?
Well, I will give Chucky Schumer credit for at least being a good sport about it. And allegedly he was outraged that Kamala wasn't there because that was her opportunity. Who knows what kind of like actual fun zingers. Those are awesome sound bites that they could use for her campaigning, especially with like the TikTok and the shorts crowd. So nobody got to see that, whether you like her or not. It was a hugely blown opportunity, but yes, he delivered, and he was great in 2016. I don't remember 2020; maybe they didn't have one because of the COVID. But that was also hilarious. And Hillary was even funny, and it kind of humanizes them.
Yeah,
but we didn't get to see any of it. But we did see Trump, slaying the crowd. So that was great.
What I remember most about 2016 was Maria Bartiromo's tits in that evening gown with no bra on. Really amazing, Maria. Thank you. Why was that last joke important, Brooks? I'm going to ask you why that last joke. The last joke was important about Chuck Schumer becoming the first woman president because this, guys, is Chuck Schumer's wife. This is his wife. Okay, That's a fucking dude. Okay, they supposedly have children. To me. Actually, I'm going to go to Steve first. Steve, these people are all freaks. They're all sexual perverts. They're all deviants. Chuck Schumer is gay as fuck. I don't even know. Maybe Trump even knows that he's really a woman who's been sex changed into a man. I don't know. But that was a slam at the perverts and the deviants that are in our government. Isn't it? I think it was. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No. I mean, the reality is that the Democratic Party, and even, let's face it, there are people in the Republican Party who are so perverse, who are so beyond reasonable in their sexual exploits, their pedophilia, their abuse of women and, young boys, that he's basically letting everyone know that is getting ready to come to an end, in my opinion.
That's what I think, Brooks. I think, and I want you to close this. I think that's what, and the Doug Emhoff joke, keep him away from the nannies. If you don't know, Doug Emhoff from Swallow-Horace's wife supposedly knocked up the nanny and slapped her around. So, I mean, I think he's saying, I know all this shit and I'm not going to let it go.
Yeah. And Jim Gaffigan was funny too. And I actually thought that he was going to come across a little, favoring the Democrats, but he didn't. And he was actually very proud to meet Trump in person. And I thought he came across very professional. I love Jim anyway. He's really funny. He's a great actor. He's a fantastic stand-up comic. And he was great. He was great in this. Everything was pro-Trump. And they cheered at the end of his presentation. He probably got a standing ovation. I couldn't see from behind the camera, but the cheer was just amazing. They love Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's amazing because there were people there. Letitia James was there. There were people in that room who wanted to kill Donald Trump. And, you know, people talk about brass balls. This guy has fucking balls of steel because he walked into a room with Letitia James and Chuck Schumer and Michael Bloomberg, people who want him dead. They do not just want him out of politics. They want him dead. There are probably people in that room, I'm pretty sure, have been involved in assassination attempts on this guy. And, you know, there's the whole thing where you can be poisoned with the like from the interview, the movie, The Interview. They can poison you with a shake of the hand. That's what they did in 2020. They tried to kill Trump that way. He knows that, and he walked in there and he got right back in their faces and he said, I am going to take you down. That, I believe, is what he was saying in that event. And the dude has balls of steel. Anybody disagree with me?
He called out Letitia James. He said, you better watch what you say because Letitia's sitting right back here.
Yeah.
She's watching all of you.
Now, speaking of that, guess who else is now speaking out about Donald Trump? Joe Biden, or the actor portraying Joe Biden, had this to say about what they have to do to Trump days before the election. Let's listen to Sleepy J.
He is talking about doing away with the entire Department of Education. He's talking, he means it. This is not a joke. This is a guy who also wants to replace every civil servant, every single one. Thinks he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We gotta lock him up. Politically.
Wow.
He is talking about
so Biden
doing away with the entire Department of Education.
Biden, insane Joe Biden, is coming out and saying they need to lock him up. But it sounds like, to me, Steve, he's wanting to lock him up before the election. And we're going to get into how badly it's going for the Democrats in a minute. But what do you think about that, Steve?
Well, we know they're finished. And the fact that a person who has already been by the United States government deemed as unqualified or not fit to stand trial is accusing President Trump of needing to be locked up because he's insane is the biggest oxymoron I've seen in a long time. But let's face it, the Democrats are scared. Public officials who have been in office for years and years are extremely scared that he's coming. Even on the local level, you know, corrupt politicians on the local level are scared that he's coming in, and they will not, in my opinion, they'll pull out all the stops to try to get him either underground, meaning taking a dirt nap, or pull something where he is unable to fulfill his duties in that office.
Yeah. Brooks, any thoughts on this particular latest bunch of bullshit from the actor?
Yeah, I mean, he's using these buzzwords like civil servant. The truth is 23% of our federal budget is consumed by federal employees that produce nothing. They produce nothing. All they do is create committees that create committees that create committees. And then there's all the NGOs that they pay, non-government offices or non-government organizations that take care of the rest. I think Trump's brilliant in saying that he's going to bring Elon Musk in, who's probably going to cut 75%. That's what Biden's complaining about, cutting all the civil servants. 75% of that federal budget going to federal employees because it can be done so much more efficiently. And that's what they're really complaining about. Their power, the Democrats' power, is in their ability to manage a huge bureaucracy. And what is a bureaucracy? It's a rule by bureaus. Get it? It's not a democracy. It's not a republic. It's not a monarchy. It's a bureaucracy. It's run by bureaus.
Blake, is Joe Biden just openly signaling what they're going to try to do to Donald Trump? Probably going to try to do it. I think if he wins the election, I think they're going to try to arrest him after that or sentence him to prison for his alleged fake felony convictions and try to come get him. Do you think this is serious? And are they just simply showing what they're going to try to do?
Yeah, I think they are projecting that. They are very fearful about what's going on, and they are openly fantasizing about jailing Trump and his supporters or sticking the military on Trump supporters. Like their sworn enemy, that they've lost their mind. Like, if we win, I know there's obviously people that should probably be investigated and possibly held account for treason, but I don't care about rank and file people that were Democrats, people that were just misled by the media. I would never suggest that they be re-educated. We got to start jailing the Biden Kamala supporters. But it's wild to see that, and then for them to team up with their old nemesis, the old neocons, to do that, to team up against MAGA is pretty horrifying. I guess maybe the only bright spot, I would agree that we should keep the Federal Department of Education, but just to gather all the info on the states and optimize efficiency. But it'd be very limited in their
Just get rid of it. And do I want to jail Kamala supporters? No, but I don't want them in my country anymore either. Let's go set them up with their own separate little place somewhere on Sakhalin Island. That's where I like it. Let's just give them Sakhalin Island. We'll buy it from Russia. Maybe that's why Trump wants to buy Greenland. Maybe we can stick them all in Greenland, and they can mine all the rare earths that are there. Brooks, did you have something you wanted to say about that? Or no?
What if Kamala says no? Kamala's going to be in the same position Mike Pence was in, to accept the electoral certifications from the states. Mm-hmm. What if she says no? It's never been done before, but what if she says no? I'm not going to certify the election.
Jamie Raskin, they're going to resist.
That's when you make the French Revolution great again. I would set up not gallows, but guillotines outside of Congress. Right there, just set them up, just right there. So you guys can certify the lawful election or not. All right, this brings us to the political situation. Sorry, guys, we're going a little bit long tonight, but there was so much to cover. This brings us to the political situation, which is really looking bad for the Harris campaign. She's bleeding out everywhere. And there's a new poll out tonight. Now, do I put a lot of emphasis on polls? No, I don't. Unless they reflect my general gut feeling, which has never been wrong about picking who's going to win. My general gut feeling on the state of the race. Today, Fox News, which is one of the worst pollsters actually out there. Thank you. Sorry. One of the worst pollsters out there released a poll of Latin voters. These are likely voters. And by the way, voters don't vote and general public doesn't vote. Okay. The only likely voters vote. Amongst likely voters in the Latin community, Donald Trump, not only is he not behind, not only is he doing better than any Republican candidate ever, he's 11 points ahead of Kamswala Harris, 49% to 38%. And let me just tell you, if that poll is true, and Fox is notoriously biased against Donald Trump in their polling, Donald Trump is going to win by a massive landslide. So I think what we want to do is let's slide over and let's check what we think this is going to do to the electoral map. It's 2 weeks out. We may as well fill it in and talk about it real quick. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen if that's the percentage of the Latino vote. Donald Trump's going to win Arizona, and he's going to win it comfortably. He's going to win Nevada my state, and he's going to win it comfortably. He's going to win Georgia, my state, and win it very comfortably.
North
Carolina locked up. It's solid red. He's going to win Pennsylvania. He's going to win Michigan. He's got the Arab and Muslim vote in Michigan. He's going to win Michigan comfortably. He's going to win Wisconsin. And I'll tell you something else. He's already got the election won. Other states are in play. You know who's in play? New Mexico is in play. Virginia is in play. And Trump in many of the polls, and these are even polls biased against Republicans, Trump is only 2-3 points behind. Colorado is on the brink of becoming a red state. Minnesota is going to go slightly red. New Hampshire is going to go slightly red. If these numbers are anywhere close to reality, you know what else? California is ready to flip. Oregon and Washington are.
And New York. And New
York is also weak because of the tremendous surge in Latino support. And let's just go ahead and fix it. Let's just take Colorado. I think this is really close to what's going to happen in 2 weeks if the election is allowed to stand. Anybody have anything you want to say or comment on that? Steve, you've probably been around a lot of Latinos in your life, working the police thing. I think they're more patriotic Americans than a lot of other minority groups in America. Am I wrong?
I would agree with you 100%. They're hardworking people, especially the ones who came in this country legally. They are more upset about the illegals coming in than most rank and file Americans are. They came to this country literally to make a better life for themselves. They didn't come here to pay ridiculous taxes to illegals that are coming across. They didn't come here to not be able to assist their families in getting ahead, getting a quality education, and living the American dream. So 99% of the time, when you deal with legal immigrants, they are more patriotic than your average American, and they make no bones about it, and they don't hide their feelings.
Yep. Brooks, this is one of many tectonic shockwaves going through the political body politic this week.
Well, and this is what makes it dangerous, because if you know it, we know it, they know it as well. Mm-hmm. And the global syndicate does not like losing. That's what worries me so much. Sometime between now and the election, or between the election and inauguration, they could do a massive false flag attack to just turn the country upside down. To let you know how bad this has gotten, and I know you're going to transition to this if we have enough time, somebody in the Biden administration did not want Israel to attack Iran. So they leaked their battle plans on Telegram so that Israel could not attack Iran. Iran had a foolproof way to go in there and take the mullahs out. Really take the mullahs out. And the Biden administration did not want that to happen.
You meant
so they leaked their battle plans.
Right.
This is what these people will do to keep from losing.
Blake, I expect since Republicans are known to vote on election day primarily, not early voting, not mail-in balloting. Okay, I'm sorry. I filled out my mail-in ballot. I signed it. I sealed it. I delivered it yesterday along with Eugene David Barra. We've already voted because I think people are worried about false flag attacks, Antifa types attacking at the polling places on election day. You take that threat seriously, and just how big a lead do you think Trump has right now? Because I think it's enormous.
Yeah, I think your map could very well be accurate. That's how it should be internally, but what will they do to change that or to fix the voting afterwards? I've already had, Jocelyn Benton, tyrant Secretary of State in Michigan, saying that they're not going to have the results election night. So they're setting it up to take it away from us and resist. And like Jamie Raskin has said, that they're not going to allow Trump to take over. So I do expect them. I think they know they're going to lose, so they're going to do everything. They have nothing else to lose, I guess, by cheating. So they're going to do whatever it takes. They have to, because they know that the end is near for them, and they're going to be exposed and perhaps deal with retaliation. So yeah, they will definitely try to cheat, avoid all attempts to audit, and of course, tell us it was the most secure and safe and secure election ever. And then they'll call us all conspiracy theorists and try to censor everybody outside of Twitter X, I suppose. So yeah, we got a big fight ahead of us. So it's not even just going to finish on election night, but you're right. They should all vote earlier if they possibly can, because we saw what they did in Maricopa with Katie Hobbs on election day. They will definitely pull out the dirty tricks. Oh, the ballots were the wrong size and they weren't counted, and all the people in line had to leave. They're notorious for that. So be vigilant for all of it.
Yep. I think they do have Dominion voting machines in some states. I personally can't wait for that cunt Michigan Secretary of State to swing from a noose. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I can't wait to see that crazy look in her eyes. Because I hate these people. I hate them so much, I can't even tell you. And starting from Klaus Schwab and Anthony Fauci on down. All right, that was a little bit violent. I probably went a little too far with that, but she is a cunt, and I'm not afraid. I'm not sorry I said that. Anybody else have any thoughts on this situation? And Steve, should we pack on our trip to the voting booth if we go on election day?
Well, I would definitely have it available, but I'm not going to tell anybody to break the law, because in most states, it is illegal to take a firearm inside the voting facility. So, do what you can legally.
All right. Anybody else have any final thoughts? I couldn't, Brooke, somebody asked for a Ukraine update. Anything going on in Ukraine we should know about? I thought it was extremely significant 2 weeks ago. We didn't really have a chance to discuss it, or maybe even 3, that Zelensky went and met with Trump, because he knows, like everybody else, who the next president's going to be, one way or the other.
Well, there are rumors that little Kim is sending North Korean troops into the battle zone. But I have a really hard time believing that North Korean troops are going to go kill Russians. Just not in the realm of reality. They may be going to get some logistic experience or stuff like that, or maybe subvert the effort from the inside. But little Kim hates NATO, and he hates Ukrainians. He loves Russians.
Yeah. There's actually a video out there, and it's not AI. And I'm going to switch to it right now. It's actually not AI. It's not fake. And I can't wait to show you guys this. This is how much Kim and Putin are hanging in together. They're hanging out, and I wonder where they're going. They're driving together. Here they are.
That's right.
Where they? Oh, that's where they're going.
Yeah.
There they are.
That's a Russian-made vehicle, by the way, and it's pretty fast.
Yeah, I saw that today. And I don't know if that's real footage of those two guys. It might be. It looks like it's pretty good.
Putin did the driving. Yeah,
Putin did the driving.
He did.
That's pretty. And at least the Russians are smart enough to drive on the right side of the fucking road, right? Oh, you people who drive on the left side of the road, you're just plain backwards ass crazy fucks. You really are. All right, Blake, any final thoughts before we head out tonight? Next week, guys, I think we're going to go down. We're going to look at polls. We're going to have our regular news, but we're going to look at polls, and we're going to go state by state. I'm not going to fill it out. We're going to fill it out and just kind of look at where the trends are, because this is the time period now where the pollsters start telling a little bit closer to the truth, because they have to, or they won't be in business next cycle.
It depends on who they're calling. If they're still calling landlines, they're off.
Yeah.
The truth is in the cell phone, the smartphone. That's where the truth is.
That's right. Blake, any final thoughts or anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I just hope these poll watchers are prepared for everything and record it all, because it should be obvious. But we thought there was some obvious problems the last time around, and they got away with everything. from the 7,000 sworn affidavits in Michigan to the shenanigans in Maricopa, and they're running the stuff, no chain of custody to run back, the 2,000 mules, the ballot dropping, the harvesting, the ballots under the tables in Georgia, and the pipe bursting. I mean, they're going to pull out all the stops, and
we could have talked about what's being done to Rudy Giuliani today, but I would go insane, and I'm already angry enough on this show. So, Brooks, any final thoughts tonight?
Yeah, be sure now that we are in dangerous times the next 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
Make sure to maintain a full tank of gas. I would have $1,000 cash on hand, small bills. And make sure you have your ivermectin, because you don't know what they're going to release. I'm just telling you.
That's true. I should probably order some more ivermectin. I put mine to good use this weekend. Steve Doran, any final thoughts before we head out 2 weeks from election night?
As always, I agree with Mr. Brooks. Make sure that you keep yourself and your family safe. Get your groceries in the house. Don't be that idiot who is standing there behind 400 people for the last can of tomatoes at Walmart. Make sure you have plenty of food, plenty of water. It doesn't matter where you live, you can prepare. If you're allowed to own a firearm, make sure that you have plenty of ammunition and that you have done at least a basic security survey around your house, how to get in, how to get out, and continue to maintain that the vigilance as you go around to where you go in, you know how to get out.
Yep. Always know. Never go into a place you don't know how to get out, right? That's what my friend Alan the mechanic always says.
And where the men's room is.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Long show, lots to talk about. We didn't even get to all of it. There's so much more to talk about, but we will be back next Tuesday, 1 week out from the election. And I wonder if Kamala Harris is even still going to be on the ballot in a week.
I don't know. It depends on how much liquor's in the closet.
Where is Kamala? That is the question. Where is she tonight? All right, guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. I'll be back tomorrow with a new show, Tell the Truth Wednesday, and then I'm doing Whiskey and Wisdom tomorrow night. I will see you then. Have a good one. Peace out.